Hello, welcome back to the YouTube channel. Today I want to talk about something that is old news at this point right now. Well, it's a few days old, so yeah, in the internet's terms, it's old news. But, so you know how in Stranger Things Season 4 they used Master of Puppets by Metallica? Well, that obviously that exposed Metallica to a lot more people than a lot of people probably anticipated. I mean, I was thinking, like, Metallica's a huge band, surely people would at least have heard of them, but apparently not. And, well, the cancel culture is a thing that exists, right? It's that thing that sounds good on paper. It's like, yeah, we should hold people accountable for messed up stuff they've done or questionable things that they've said. Maybe, maybe it's not such a bad idea. And then sometimes you just kind of come across something that makes you kind of scratch your head and just be like, what? Like, we're really going to cancel somebody over this? And that is something that I feel like is happening to Metallica. Let's just pull up the TikTok. I have it right here. So this user named Serena Trueblood, I don't know if that's her name. She has a series, I guess, on TikTok that is called "Is Your Fave Problematic?" Now, just on a personal note, I fucking hate that word. It sucks. I'm just moving the screen here to get something off my laptop. But yeah, I hate that word problematic because it's used so much, and it's like, let's look up. I have a bunch of shit here to debunk some of the stuff she's saying, but let's look up the definition of problematic. I probably should have done this first. So problematic in the term dictionary as an adjective is constituting or presenting a problem or difficulty. The situation was problematic for teachers. Noun, a thing that constitutes a problem or difficulty. The problematics of artificial intelligence. So, I mean, does learning about a band's past really sound like it's causing a problem? I really don't think it is. But let's read the caption. Okay, so first of all, the comments are turned off. I can't imagine why. And 40,000 likes. Okay, not bad. But the caption says, I find it interesting, she spelled interesting wrong, that they only cared about gatekeeping in their fandom when they started getting big again from Stranger Things. Well, see, here's the thing. Metallica was always big. They've always been a big band. There's just a bit more media coverage of them now. They've always been huge ever since the Black Album came out in 91. They've been on top of the world pretty much ever since then. Sure, they've had their highs and lows since then of their entire career, but that's with any band. Or really anything in general. I mean, even if we want to talk about Stranger Things, there was a 3-year gap in between seasons, mostly because of COVID problems and stuff like that, but still. It says they only care about what lines their pockets. I don't know about that. I mean, here, I have a couple of clips from YouTube of live shows where that's for something later. But here, they posted this video. Metallica posted this video of them playing in July this year in Spain, playing the iconic cover of Whiskey in the Jar. During the song, James says something like this. I'm probably going to get a copyright claim for this, but whatever. Now, does that sound like a person or a band that didn't care about gatekeeping previously? Here's another clip from one of their shows in 2018.
Family, thank you for showing up. You are always welcome in the Metallica family. Anyone and everyone is welcome. And we have lots of generations here representing the Metallica family. We have, don't get scared, there's old people here. people here. I'm not pointing any fingers at all.
Okay, so you get what he's saying, right? So does that sound like something that a band that wouldn't care about gatekeeping would say? I don't know. They've always seemed to kind of push this message of, that everybody is welcome and everybody who is into the band is welcome to be a part of the fandom. And I think that's awesome. It's great to see a band that's really inclusive of its fans. But, so that's just already, I mean, there's some spelling errors here, but whatever. And P.S. Sorry, Dad. Whatever. So, that's before we actually get into the video. Let's watch it.
Welcome back to Is Your Fave Problematic? On this episode, we're going to be covering Metallica. This band is ancient, so let's just jump straight in.
All right, let's get one thing straight. I mean, some of these things are probably going to be me just joking around and just having fun. And I don't mean to, disrespect her or anything like that. And, nobody actually come after her for anything like this. She just made a video that she wanted to make. She felt like was important to make. So let's not say any hate her way. I'm sure she's a lovely person. So let's just get that out of the way. But Metallica is not ancient. I wouldn't say they are. They've only been around for what? Last year was their 40th anniversary. And I mean, yeah, 40 years is a long time, but it's not anywhere near as long as what she's implying. But let's just move on.
Because it's going to be very, very long. But before we start, let's have some...
Well, whatever. So she puts trigger warning with stuff like this. So, yeah. I mean, I am not really the kind of person that would be like, oh, if you don't want to hear about these things. I'd be like, if you don't want to hear about these things, you can turn off the video, but they're important things to discuss. So, whatever.
Some content warnings. And starting off with a bang, there is their anti-Semitism.
Okay. Let me just get this straight. None of the members of Metallica are Nazis. At least that's what they would have you believe. I mean, I don't know any of them personally. I don't know any of their personal beliefs. I would hope that they're not actually Nazis. But sure, let's keep watching.
First, there's this picture of Hetfield and Ulrich doing a Nazi salute.
Okay, so yeah, this picture looks pretty bad. It's James Hetfield and Lars Ulrich doing the Sig Heil while James has a finger above his mouth like he's impersonating Hitler. And yeah, out of context, this does look really bad. But if you could tell from the graffiti on the wall here, it looks like they're playing in Berlin. So, yeah, they probably just thought this was funny. Again, this was the 80s, the 90s. I'm sure Metallica had their fair share of dark humor then, and maybe it didn't always land, but yeah. Let's just keep going.
More recently, Hetfield plays on this guitar that contains iron crosses. And if you don't know, iron crosses are neo-Nazi dog whistle symbols.
Not entirely true. That's not where they originated from. Did the Nazis use them? Yes. But let's see what Google says about the Iron Cross. It says, is the Wikipedia article, which you could say whatever about Wikipedia. This is the first thing that came up. It says, it was designed on the occasion of the German campaign of 1813 when Frederick Wilhelm III of Prussia commissioned the Iron Cross as the first military decoration open to all ranks, including enlisted men. From this time, the Black Cross was featured on the Prussian war flag alongside the Black Eagle. So, yeah, so the actual origination of the Iron Cross was over 100 years before the Nazi Party was even formed. So, yeah. Obviously, there's a couple of different... See, and then if we gotta go... The Iron Cross symbolized the courages of old Prussian warriors, the great victories of the Bismarck era, and the valor of the Germans of the First World War. So it's not just a Nazi thing. The Iron Cross is used in a lot of different contexts, like the Hells Angels and biker gangs and stuff like that use the Iron Cross. So, yeah, no. That's not entirely what the Iron Cross is all about. It's not just a Nazi symbol. You know, did the Nazis use it? Yes. But that's definitely not what Hetfield was intending to use it for. That's just ridiculous.
Then there's also the fact that he hung out with Kerry King, this Aryan Brotherhood looking motherfucker right here.
Okay. Kerry King, Slayer lead guitarist. Now, this shirt, I'll admit, doesn't make him look great. You wear your X and I'll wear mine. From what I saw from Finn McKenty's video, because he made a similar video about this topic, he said that this must be referring to Malcolm X, and then obviously this X is the Confederate flag, which, yeah, not bad. Well, no, it is bad. That's not what I didn't mean to say that it wasn't bad. Slayer is a band, and Kerry King as a guitarist. Slayer has always been about controversy and pissing people off. So let's actually dig a little bit into this. So I have the Wikipedia up for the Slayer song "Angel of Death," which, if we just read it, the lyrics and the music were written by guitarist Jeff Hanneman, not Kerry King. They detail the Nazi physician Josef Mengel's human experiments at the Auschwitz concentration camp during World War II. Angel of Death led to accusations of Nazi sympathizing and racism against the band, which they vigorously denied, but which followed them throughout their early career. So, yeah. And if you read it a little bit into it, Hanneman read about some of these Nazi experiments and what Mengel did and thought it was good inspiration to write a song. And even if you read the lyrics are from the point of view of people either condemning what is going on or even the victims of the torture that they were subjected to. So, yeah, no. I would not say that Kerry King is a part of the Aryan Brotherhood. Just because he's bald. I mean, he's been bald for a long time. So, yeah, I don't think that really says anything. Yeah, that shirt isn't a good look, but I mean, Slayer was always about causing controversy. But who knows? Maybe he does have those beliefs, and if so, that's too bad. But yeah, continue.
Who is obviously very proud to be wearing a Confederate flag. And then a video.
And again, I mean, I know that the Confederate flag is often considered a racist symbol today, but back then, it was seen as a racist symbol to some, but not to everybody. I know a lot of people from the South, they just thought it was a part of their, Southern heritage, and it was just a symbol of that. It was a symbol of the South, which I can't really fault anybody for feeling that way. I mean, Dimebag Darrell had a Confederate flag on his guitar. He has that famous guitar where the Confederate flag is the paint job of it, but whatever.
Video of one of their former members doing a Nazi salute and march. Next up, there's...
Okay. Pretty bad, right? Looks out of context, it looks bad. But here's the thing. So the song that they were playing right there is their cover of Diamond Head's Am I Evil? Pretty famous cover song. And if we go ahead and read the lyrics, obviously the lyrics detail this person who witnesses their mother die and goes on a killing spree. You can see how this could be attributed to Nazis. And I'm sure that's what they were doing. And again, this was during the 90s, and Metallica has the name Alcoholica for a pretty damn good reason, I think. They all had their substance problems and things like that. So, not to say that that should be excusing their behavior, but I don't know. It's just, to me, it doesn't seem that bad because it seems to me like they're making fun of the Nazis and people who have those, who genuinely do have those beliefs. I don't think that they would do that because they actually believe that shit.
There's some more racism.
And I heard James say about Ice-T, because Ice-T was supposed to join us on the tour. He said, I don't want to share my stage with a N-word.
And that's...
You heard that he said that. You heard. That is a very important thing to talk about. These are allegations.
That story's even corroborated by Axl Rose himself.
Oh man. Do we bring up do we bring up the song "One in a Million" by Guns N' Roses, where he says the N-word with the hard R? He says the F word, and not the one that isn't fuck. Well, he does say fuck in it, but yeah, yeah. Do we really want to, like? I don't know. I don't trust Axl Rose, but
Before
whatever.
the show ended, though, Rose got in a few verbal licks at GNR's one-time tour mates Metallica, especially lead singer James Hetfield, whom Rose called a racist. Apparently because Axl blames Hetfield for keeping Ice-T and Body Count off last year's GNR Metallica tour.
Then there's his racist...
So, yeah. And I mean, Axl Rose has always had his issues too. So, who knows? Maybe even somebody else that wasn't a member of Metallica said that. Maybe it was a part of Metallica's crew. Even if what is being said is true, which I don't think it is, because these are simply allegations, and until there is proof, if there is actual genuine proof, then I'll believe it. But if not, it's just he said, she said bullshit. Just like Limp Bizkit said. So, yeah.
racism against East Asian people, and his use of the O word.
So, from my understanding, what she's referring to as the O word is the word Oriental. Now, I'll be honest, I'm not really sure why that's bad. So let's look at it together. Let's get the Guns N' Roses lyrics out of the way, because I'm not getting community guidelines striked for having that word on screen. Let's see. Oriental Trading Company. Bad word. I don't know what to... Asian... Okay, so it's... Yeah, Oriental definition and meaning. So if we're just looking at Merriam-Webster, you know, I'm hoping a pretty decent source. So, Oriental, sometimes offensive, so uses paragraph below, of or relating to or coming from Asia, and especially Eastern Asia. So, okay, so the word is meant to be like relating to Asian culture, and says sometimes the dictionary does say sometimes offensive. So I guess that'd be more of a case by case thing. Whether people are actually do get upset about that, that's probably just somebody you'd have to ask. Somebody that would probably be affected by something like that, by somebody saying that kind of word.
And making fun of the call to stop calling people that word.
You don't know Kung Fu! All our Oriental fans smashing Metallica records. Isn't it Asian? Politically sensitive? Wow, man, I'm really enjoying.
Then there was this day.
See, yeah, I mean that doesn't look great, I will admit. Especially with Kirk being like, you know, shouldn't we not say that, and Hetfield pretty much dismissing it. But again, I don't think that Hetfield actually meant to anger anybody. I think they were just... It was probably just something that they thought would be funny, taken out of context. Yeah. I don't personally think that they were intending to be racist or anything like that. It was probably just a dark joke that didn't land. That's how I view it.
Statement that he was praised for.
Okay, so let's read this. Facing the crowd, roughly 20 minutes into the show, as seen above, Hetfield said, "Metallica doesn't give a shit, alright? We don't give a shit about the differences, okay? We care about the similarities. So the fact that you're here, we don't care who you voted for, what you do or don't eat. We don't care what color your skin is, what you do for a job. We don't care what you've done in the past. What we do care about is the fact that we're all together here celebrating life with music. So for me, you are Metallica family. All are welcome. Are you with us?" So this is kind of going with the clips that I played earlier. You know, they talk about this.
Speaking out against racism, even though at the beginning of it they talk about how they don't care who you voted for, as if Trump supporters weren't supporting racist policies. If you care enough about racism to denounce it, then you should probably care about who people are voting for, because those people influence policies that are racist. Okay,
here's what I'm going to say to that. Metallica is not a political band. They have never really spoken about politics. They've never told anybody who to vote for. There's actually a clip that I saw on YouTube of Hetfield talking about why he doesn't talk about it. So let's look it up, James. I probably should have done this beforehand, but whatever. Politics. Let's see here. Let's see. James Hetfield on why Metallica avoids politics. Let's watch a little bit of this video at least. Skip the intro.
Is this a song about, or this, basically we're here to talk about music. I mean, politics and crap like that, I don't like mixing music and politics together.
Right.
Someone's certain beliefs we're here to play music. When we go play certain countries, there's always these political questions, aren't you here to save the kids and all this, We're here to play music, and it's just one of our feelings that we're trying to get out. And I think other celebrities or figures that use their popularity to promote certain political causes, I feel it's wrong.
Or beliefs?
Just because they're popular doesn't mean they're smart most of the time.
Our music, I think, is...
So, even just that little clip right there, it makes sense why the band wouldn't want to talk about those kinds of things, because that's not what they're there to do. So, that's my 2 cents on that. Bands don't owe it to their fans to talk about politics, because, again, I don't really care. I wouldn't want a band that I listen to pushing their beliefs on me. And so, why should they talk about it?
But don't worry, they spoke about Black Lives Matter. All of them did. Except for the lead singer, of course.
Because James Hetfield doesn't fucking use social media. If you did any little bit of research, you would understand that. I mean, he had an Instagram account, I remember, but he didn't really post much on it. He didn't really use it a whole lot. So that's not... Yeah, no. And I mean, everybody talked about that. Even me, somebody who doesn't really talk about politics, posted that black square. And then I saw that it was actually not doing a good job of raising awareness, because it was blocking out, because apparently it was blocking out actual information, which I can see. So I removed it, and plus I don't want politics on my personal page. And you probably wonder, well, why are you talking about this? It's because I don't think that this is a political issue. I don't like to talk about these kinds of things. I'm talking about it because this video is, and I'm responding to it. So, yeah.
And they did that with some black squares, no resources, and no donations.
That you know of. Who's to say they didn't donate any money? Who knows? Maybe they did, and just didn't say anything, because they probably knew that if they talked about it, they would get a bunch of shit. So, yeah, I mean, that's with anything. You say one thing, and a whole bunch of people who believe something else are going to come at you for it. That's just the unfortunate way the things are. And so they probably figured, well, the best way to not deal with that is to just not say anything about it. You know? And I mean, yeah.
Next up is how they made fun of addiction, mental health, and suicide. First, there's how they mocked Layne Staley's drug addiction by motioning needles going into their arms.
Okay, so you can't really see that well. But, yeah, I mean, again, just these clips on their own, yeah, doesn't put them in a good light. But, I mean, they were going through the same issues themselves, and, I mean, speaking from personal experience, I use humor as a way to cope with difficult things in my life. I'm sure they were deeply affected by the loss of Layne Staley, and so, who knows, I don't think that this was after he died, but, I'm sure it probably was difficult for them to see that. So I'm sure they were big Alice in Chains fans, so yeah.
What I find weird about this is that they are so quick to make fun of somebody's drug addiction, but when James himself was put into rehab, that's when they started taking drug addiction seriously.
I mean, okay. Yeah, of course, I mean, you're going to care about something a lot more when it's directly affecting you. That's just how people are. I ain't gonna disagree with that, but it seems like, I don't know. Again, I use humor, sometimes dark humor, to cope with things, and maybe that's what they were doing. I don't know. I don't know them personally. But again, these clips are very, very old. These are from the 90s. These are from the 80s. These are from a very long time ago. They've obviously changed as people a lot. So, yeah, I don't think that we should be condemning them or anything like that for saying messed up stuff like that.
But of course they only care about issues when it pertains them. And finally, there's how they mocked Kurt Cobain's suicide, days after it happened.
What color was Kirk Cobain's eyes?
Okay, I saw in another video where they actually looked up the dates, the day of death and that show. So let's look it up here. Kurt... I almost spelled it with a K. His last name. So April 5th, 1994 was when Kurt Cobain passed away. Metallica Kurt Cobain jokes. Let's see, let's figure out...
What color was Kirk Cobain?
So, this video I see, it cites the show from being in New Hampshire, June 12th, 1994. So, 2 months. Not days. So, and I mean, Kurt was a fan of the band. So, yeah, obviously them making jokes about his death sounds pretty shitty. Doesn't sound great. But, I don't know. I feel like Kurt Cobain probably would have laughed at it. I feel like he probably had a self-deprecating sense of humor or things like that, so, yeah.
One blew this way, one blew that.
Ugh.
There's 4 arms and 4 legs and worse than McDonald's. The remaining members of Nirvana.
It was a good aim.
There's probably much...
Okay, why even use that clip of Dave Mustaine? He's not even a member of Metallica. He was only in the band for like a couple of years and then got kicked out. And I mean, if you want to say shit about Dave Mustaine, there's absolutely stuff you could say about him, but that's videos about Metallica, not Megadeth, so, yeah.
Much more of this, considering that they're a band full of white men from the 80s.
Kirk Hammett's Filipino, and I believe Trujillo is Latino? Let me fact check myself before I say something bad. American musician. Trying to find... He was born in California. He is of Mexican and Native American descent. So yeah, he's not white. And Kirk Hammett's Filipino. So no, they're not white.
But this is all I can find for right now. So if I missed anything, please let me know. Welcome back.
So, yeah, obviously there's issues with this video, and I find it funny that I'm recording a 30-minute video reacting to a 3-minute video, but yeah, it's just like, I guess my final thoughts on this is that a lot of the shit that was pointed out here was from a long time ago. It was from the 90s, and that was, 1992 was 30 years ago. It was in that time period where things like that maybe people didn't have as much of a reaction to, or at least that we could see now with the internet. So it's just so funny how it's like people can't assume that, like, people don't think that people can change. It's like as soon as you say one thing, that's how you believe forever, and there's no way you can change that. Which all reasonable people would know is bullshit. That's not true. You can change your beliefs anytime you want, or anytime you feel like it is necessary to, because that's just how people are. So I just find it crazy how people will purposefully dig up stuff in people's past to try to tarnish their career. Where, I mean, people have known about this shit for a long time with Metallica, so it's not like a whole lot of this was really new. Which is, yeah. So, again, I think that's really much I have to say. I think that canceling Metallica is kind of dumb, and it's obviously not going to work because they're the biggest heavy metal band in the world, so obviously they're not going to go anywhere. I know I'll still be listening to Metallica, I'll still wear my Metallica t-shirts, I'll still listen to Metallica on Spotify, I'm still going to go try to see them live at some point. Hopefully next year they tour the US more. And, yeah, that's really all I have to say about that. So, yeah, hope you have a good day, and rock on.